Dating is not the same as it was 20 years ago. Nowadays, females are insecure, picky, easily offended, and overly provocative. They don't appreciate gestures of kindness like holding the door open and calling you misogynistic for complimenting them. Loneliness is a very uncomfortable emotion. But, in my experience, relationships bring a host of their own far more painful emotions. Loneliness does not fuck up my workday in the same way anger over a disagreement does, or the way I feel when I'm waiting to hear back from someone who has ghosted me. Loneliness is just not that bad compared to the intensity that comes with love. Plus, life is just too high stakes right now. A bad choice can be really hard to come back from in this day and age, especially if you're past 30. Making a bad call when choosing a partner is very common, because women as a class have become extremely demanding. We have all heard the rule of 6. The man must be at least 6 feet 0 tall, make at least 6 figures income, have 6-pack abs, 6-inch equipment, a 6-bedroom house, etc. Even if we set that aside, women, even those claiming to be egalitarian feminists, and even those with their own jobs making good money who insist men and women are equal, expect a man to 1. Take the initiative to ask the woman out, 2. Plan the date, 3. Coordinate the date, 4. Pick her up for the date, 5. Entertain her during the date, 6. Pay for the date, 7. Follow up and plan the second date. I've seen some of the most boring and dull women in the world who couldn't tell a joke to save their lives insist that men have a sense of humor, be witty, and be good conversationalists. So because some women are boring individuals, they insist the men amuse them and entertain them. Dating is hard for young men because young women basically only accept the idle rich, trust fund babies. They want a guy who is 22, 25 years old, has the success of a man typically in his 50 to 70, but still has the body of a 22, 25-year-old, doesn't have to work for his money, is available to the wine and dine them and travel around the world with them, and is witty, educated, funny, and will listen to their problems. So in short, as long as you have degrees in philosophy, history, economics, psychology, literature, and you have an 8-figure trust fund your parents set up for you and you don't actually have to work, and you're at least 6 feet 0 tall, you'll do fine in the dating market as a young man. In short, young women expect far too much from young men who are just trying to get started in life. It comes back to bite these women in their 30s and 40s. I could give you dozens of articles from female dating coaches talking about speed dating events for singles in their 30 seconds and 40 seconds where 50,100 women show up and the amount of men they get is between 0 and 5, with the event being cancelled and women going away upset. In the game of life, in the realm of which sex can handle being long-term single better, it seems that men in their 30 seconds and 40 seconds are content to be single if the other main option is go with similarly aged women from your peer group, the peer group which previously rejected you in your 20s. Also, successful men in their 30s and 40s can land 20-something women who are ignoring their own peer group similarly aged men and are looking for established men. Everybody gets their turn to be ignored. Men are generally ignored from age 18 to about 25, 28, or 30, 32, or however long it takes them to get properly established. Some are established by age 25, others 28, some their early 30 seconds. Women are generally ignored from age 30 onward or 35 onward, and certainly from their 40s. Women in their 30s complain life is unfair, and dating is so hard, but they held almost all of the cards from 18, 28 years of age. If they didn't play those cards correctly, then they will be complaining in their 30s and 40s and for the rest of their lives. There are no do-overs or loading a previous save in the game of life. A successful and established man between 32 and 38 has a much better chance of finding a wife in the 8-25-year-old range than a woman his age, 32, 38, has of even finding a similarly aged man willing to marry her. The simple truth is that many women don't realize the top 20% of men they are interested in, most of them are either taken by the mid-30 seconds. The time these women are seriously thinking about going out and trying to find a man because it is time to settle down and have 2 kids, or they don't want to get married and are happy being lifelong single, or they are with a woman 10, 15 years her junior that she couldn't compete with. The top 20% of men are always in demand, and not just by 30, 40-year-old women, but among 18, 25-year-old women as well. Life is hard for young men because they have not had sufficient time to acquire the skills and experiences necessary to obtain resources and status. They also lack significant life experience and are prone to be manipulated by older women, single mothers, and others into making bad long-term mating choices. I found a bigger mission that was more important than dating. Then when I stopped dating and started creating a really interesting life for myself, people started coming to me. The more value I created, the more people came to me and wanted to interact with me. The more interesting you are, the more people will want to talk to you, work with you, and then date me. Then you get to choose.